Qatar-Australia bilateral relationship, very important relationship. Let us understand the insight of the global economy to start with. 4.4% is the global outcome this year. That's an indicative numbers. Advanced economies to the tune of 3.9, emerging and developing economies to the tune of 4.8, Middle East and Central Asia should be reporting around 4.4. That's for 2022. Qatar as an economy, again, is going to perform to the tune of 180 billion with a reported inflation. Last quarter was 6.4, so we expect around 3.2% inflation this year. And current account will be a surplus, trade surplus are going to be there. But effectively, looking at the current oil price and the forecast, it will cross 200 billion GDP. Nevertheless, based on the fiscal alignment, we can assume the minimum of current account surplus of 21 billion, which is around 11.5%. Fiscal also will be showing a surplus because our budget was taken at $55 per barrel. Then, if you look at the COVID cases, Qatar has done 357,000 impacted cases, but 668 deaths so far. The vaccines for eligible population is over 80%. Total population is around 77. Now, in terms of state budget, as I said earlier, taking into account the budget, oil at $55, we should be reporting a small deficit. 204 billion Qatar Riyal is the expenditure. And when it comes to revenues, 196 billion. So predominantly it's all going to be for healthcare, education, infrastructure creation. The world economy is going through extraordinary set of challenges. Qatar sustainable revenue enhancement in the coming days is given. In terms of non-hydrocarbon diversification, Qatar's ranked 17th globally in the competitive index among 64 countries, most of which are developed countries, according to Global Competitiveness Yearbook for 2021, which is annually issued by the International Institute of Management Development in Switzerland. So we have S&P affirming rate, AA, Fitch affirming again AA minus. We have good opportunities through Qatar Financial Center, regulations for non-Qatari capital, 100% ownership, investments. In May 2020, public-private partnership law was promulgated. Two-tier residency program was also pronounced in October 2020. So free zone authorities shaping up well. $3 billion development and foreign direct investments for SMEs also shaping up. Qatar is a good investment destination. When it comes to Qatar Exchange, 100% ownership limit in Qatar listed companies that was announced last year, 2021, and many banks are gearing up. Food security is taking a major thrust, and over the years, since 2017, blockade self-reliance was reinforced. Water or again, when it comes to food security, it has been a conserved approach to make sure Qatar can have sustainable supply chain. Fintech is mushrooming very well thanks to Fintech Hub, along with Qatar Development Bank. Many banks are also engaging in it. Business startups are shaping up well. Australian economy 2022 should be reporting US dollar 1.6 trillion, and effectively when it comes to inflation, it's going to be in the range of around 2%. When it comes to total economic momentum, that should be in the range of around 4.1%. So the big picture is it will run a current account surplus over 22 billion. But it is also, as a percentage of GDP, it's around 3.5%. rather I should say 1.3% to be precise. So when it comes to gross debt to GDP, very much under control, that's around 66%. When it comes to the overall population, it is 26 million, measurable, manageable, controllable. Australia has managed COVID crisis well, 3.21 million cases, almost 5,200 deaths. Vaccine is around almost 80%. Monetary policy, central bank opens the door to 2022 rate rise and insist on patience. Much will depend on the higher wages, lower unemployment. Wages and unemployment are interconnected, and one has to temper the whole frame looking at the market pulse. Market moves over the period of time. And Qatar Australia bilateral terms, the Bank Australia itself was inaugurated in 2013. The roadshow we continue to do in 2017 and 2018 during the Cyber's time again. We did this. When it comes to bilateral opportunities, Qatar-Australia merchandise trade is around 2019-20. It's going in the right direction. Total trade is around Australian dollar over 2 trillion, I should say. Australia exports are led by alumina, meat, live animals and engineering services. Import from Qatar are led by aviation services, fertilizers and aluminium. Qatar has contributed its place as Australia's second largest trading partner in the Middle East and North Africa. Qatar has brought Australians home during COVID-19. Very fine gesture from Qatar Airways. Australia an important market for Qatar Airways. When it comes to bilateral opportunities, opened up diplomacy in Canberra, Australia in 2012. In March 2013, Qatar International Centre for Reconciliation and Arbitration and Australian Centre for International Commercial Arbitration was done. Australian company Lighton was instrumental in constructing the equestrian complex in Qatar. 40,000 Australians visited Qatar in 2019, and again 3,000 Australians live in Doha. Qatar Airways has stated that it will boost its Doha-Brisbane frequency from 3 times weekly to daily beginning of this month, March 2022, in addition to increasing the frequencies across Australia. The foreign minister, the Minister of State, I should say, H.E. Sultan bin Zayed Al Muraiki, he visited in 2019. Qatar Investment Authorities and its subsidiaries, Assad Food and Nebras Power, have around 3 billion invested in Australia's property, logistics, energy and agriculture sectors. These are very important: property, logistics, energy and agriculture sector. Agriculture is one of the biggest areas of Qatari investments in Australia. Other attractive sectors include infrastructure sectors, road, railways and airports, potentials in real estate, office building, luxury hotels. Free zone is shaping up well. Australian companies can establish manufacturing facilities in Qatar free zones. Very big potential for this. There are 24 Australian universities have undertaken joint projects with the Qatar institution in recent years, including agreement inked in the past year between Hamad Khalifa University and Curtin University. Around 13 Australian companies operate in Qatar 3.0, with the biggest belonging to the engineering and construction sectors. They participate in big projects including the construction of Hamad Port, Doha Metro, World Cup stadiums, and in servicing the hydrocarbon sector. So we have sustainable value creation, and we have reason to believe the Australia-Qatar bilateral can explore relationship in SME and contracts. Opportunities exist through fintech and startup is to support technology-based economy. Trade finance and investment opportunities is very important. Performance bond, tender bonds for Australian companies we can give as an institution. Letter of credit on both export and import we can support. So it's a growing relationship, very logical in pursuit of overall development, and it remains to be seen how far we can accelerate with the bilateral values.